Hi everyone. The video I am going to make on today is relative pronouns. This is the topic we will be discussing, and how are they used? What are the relative pronouns? This is something we will be talking about. This is Professor Mukhtar Abbasi, and you are watching my YouTube channel FEC English Learning. The words which are used as a relative pronoun in English are who, whom, whose, which, what, and that. If you remember from my previous video on interrogative pronouns, you will also find all these words discussed as interrogative pronouns. There, these pronouns were helping us to ask the question about different nouns, maybe about subject, object, or some other questions. If you are interested to know more about the interrogative pronouns, please watch that video. But the one word that is extra here, it is that. The word that is also used as relative pronoun. So what is the function of relative pronoun? Let's discuss. A relative pronoun comes before an adjective or a noun clause and connects it to a noun or pronoun that is called antecedent. That means the antecedent is already given, and that antecedent is a noun, and in place of that noun we use any one of these relative pronouns, and it connects it with the rest of the other sentence. What is antecedent? If you want to know more about it, please watch my special video on these types of terms. The second thing that relative pronoun helps us to do, that it provides identification or extra information about the antecedent. So what is the function of the relative pronoun? That it functions like a conjunction, and at the same time it gives extra information about the antecedent, which may be a noun or a pronoun, or it identifies them being used before the whole class. So let us understand this whole theory through the examples. The man, you can see here, the man who stole your bike has been caught. Now the antecedent of this whole sentence is the man, and the word man in grammar is a noun used here as an antecedent, and this part I have underlined with the green pen. Who stole your bike? This gives extra information about the word man. So the word which gives extra information about the noun is called adjective. But in this case, we don't have a single word that gives the extra information, but the whole class. So we will call that an adjective class. And this adjective class, as I earlier told you, noun or adjective or a noun class has been introduced by the word who, and it functions like conjunction and connects the man with stole your bike has been caught. Functions like a conjunction, and at the same time is also used in place of the noun man. The word used in place of the noun is called pronoun, but at the same time the word also helps us to connect two parts of sentences. So that's why who is called relative pronoun. Now we have 6 different relative pronouns. What is the difference and how they are used? Let us discuss. The first one is who. You already know that the noun is the name of person, place, thing, or idea, and the word which replaces it is pronoun. So the word who is a pronoun and it replaces only people, not things or ideas. It is used also as a subjective case and also objective case. That means that we can replace the object with who, and also we can use the subject with who, and at the same time it also functions as conjunction, means relative pronoun. Like in this sentence, the man, here the man noun has done some work, or sorry, it has been caught, means it is object, and here the word is used in place of object. So here it functions like object. So who can be used for a subject and for an object in the sentence? For object, mostly it is used in informal language. For the subject, it is used mostly in formal and informal language. But if you are more formal in your speaking and writing, then instead of using who for objective case, you use whom. But again, let me remind you that the word whom is also used for people. It cannot be used for things or ideas. So it is also used for people, but in what case? When we have objective case. We will be learning this all in the examples. Then the next is whose. The word whose may also be used for people and things. When I'm using the word things, because I have a little space, I have to save space. Thing includes everything in the noun. So the word whose may be used for person or people and also for things. But what is the difference between who, whom and whose? This is used when we want to replace a noun that is in possessive case. If the noun is in possessive case, like if I say Ahmad's bike and I say whose bike, so here whose replaces Ahmad's, which is a possessive case. So that is what I mean when I have written possessive case. Then we have another relative pronoun, that is which, and it is used for people and also things. The word which may also be used for people and things. I already told you things means everything except people. Then the word that as a relative pronoun is a bit tricky. You must be careful about that thing, that it may be used for people and for things, but in restrictive clauses. Restrictive clauses are the necessary clauses that if we remove them from the sentences, the meaning of the sentences may be disturbed, or the sentences may give incomplete meaning. So I will also be making video on restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. So do watch them too. So that is used, once again I am telling you, as a relative pronoun, but when the clause is restrictive, means the important clause. And if we remove them, the meaning becomes incomplete. Non-restrictive clauses are those, if we remove them, they do not affect the meaning of the sentences. Then we have the word what. That is relative pronoun, but it is compound relative. What is compound relative? That means it has multiple meanings, or in multiple senses it can be used. So what are the different senses we can use the word what as a relative pronoun? Like the things which, the first meaning of which can be the things which, means if it is used as a relative pronoun and you want to replace it, then you can use the things which or the thing which. Then the other sense of this word is that which or whatever. So we call it compound relative because it is used in different senses. The second thing that you do note is that it introduces a clause that acts as a noun. Here, this class acts as adjective, means gives extra information. Here, what is mostly used in the classes that does not act as adjective, but it acts as a noun, means it is a name of something. The whole class gives that sense. And another point that you should note is it has no antecedent. Yes, it has no antecedent. So it is compound relative. It introduces a class that is not an adjective class but a noun class, and it has no antecedent. What is a class and how many kinds of classes exist? I'm also going to make video on it. Please do watch them to learn more about the classes. For now, let us learn how these different pronouns, relative pronouns, are used in sentences. My sentence number 1 is grab what you need. Here, what is used as a relative pronoun, but it has no antecedent. Unlike who stole your bike has the antecedent, that is a man. Man is the antecedent of this whole adjective class, or of who. Especially of who, the antecedent is man. But grab what you like or what you need means whatever you need, or the thing which you need, or the thing that which you need. So it has multiple meanings, but at the same time it has no antecedent. So usually or normally or mostly the word what has no antecedent. So the class that it makes is not an adjective class, but it is a noun class. Number 2, the book that explains grammar helped me a lot. Here, that, the word that has the word the book as its antecedent, and it gives more information about this thing. Number 3 is the teacher who taught me. Who taught me is the whole class that explains or gives more information about the teacher, and it is introduced by the word who. That's why we call it is a relative pronoun. So the teacher who taught me is kind. If I remove this part of the sentence, who taught me, the teacher is kind, it has a still complete sense. The student whom sir praised, is the whole class and gives extra information about the student, and is introduced by the word whom. That's why we call it is a relative pronoun. So the student whom sir praised blushed, right? So whom here used as relative pronoun. The author whose book is in your hand died recently. Whose book in your hands is the class that gives more information about the author, and that's why it is an adjective class, and the adjective class has been introduced by the word whose here and shows the possession. My car, which is 2 days old, is extra information and is introduced by the word which is relative pronoun. So which is 2 days old broke down again. I can remove this class and I say my car broke down again. No extra information. So mostly in the running sentence, when we give extra information, that extra information is called adjective clause or adjective phrase. So adjective clauses are mostly introduced with the relative pronouns. I hope The point is very clear for all of you. If you have still any confusion and you have any question, don't hesitate to ask from me in the comment section. If you really like this video, do like and subscribe.